Well, hello there YouTube, George here, and I said I'd make a video of this up here, and this is not an easy room to film in because it's small. If you look at my QRZ page, you'll see the old shack which used to be downstairs. I'm now upstairs in the box room, so I'm just going to show you what's what. I've the chair taken out because it just gives me a bit more room. So I built all this myself. I was done a number of years ago now, over 2 years ago anyway. I can't remember exactly how long, but I built all the desk, so just said I'd show you what's what. So we start underneath, I guess, in the PC there obviously, and it's on a little dolly I made, and then we have this underslung shelf. All the power supplies are on there, and you can see the frame there. It's a 1-inch box section frame, 3mm wall that goes all the way around, and then the frame for the desk is laid on top of that, so it's that strong I can stand on it. I just tend to do things to massive extremes. So I have 2 switch panels here, or 2 antenna switches, sorry. So let's move that. My battery pack is charging there. So the one here on the right, this switches the IMAX between the shed in here, and what's the third one? The third one is the Super Snake over there. So I can switch the IMAX between that, and then this one here on the left is just a 2-way. For now I'm going to change that to a 3-way whenever I find one. That's for the vertical, VHF vertical on the gable end of the house. So at the moment I can switch it between here and the shed. So that's what that's for. Then we have the PC. Most of the videos you see end up getting edited on that. Just a little card reader up there. Don't use it much, but I just had it, so I said I'd put it there, inconspicuous and out of the way. I also have a light under here for if I want to go in messing about under here. So bit messy with wires there, but look, there's no matter how neat you try to be with these things, it's not very easy. So there's a cable tray then that goes around, all the coaxes and stuff are in that, and that's the low pass filter that goes to the IMAX, and there's a couple of fans down there. I'll get to that later on. So supplies, we have 60 amp main supply, then that's a 9-volt supply modified, and then that's just a 12-volt supply there for lights and whatnot. So that, that's that. There used to be a wardrobe there, but I just kind of panelled off the wall because I just wanted the bench, the desk going straight across. So made all this, and what I'll do now is I'll just pause for a moment and I'll get the chair so I can sit down. Oh, I should also mention that what's prompted me on to make this video was this door. This door used to open the other way around, so it used to open into the room, and when I was sitting here it was always here, it was always in the way and hitting off my long scale jazz bass. My 2 basses there, long scale jazz bass and a short scale precision. They're just Harley Bentons. I play around with them. I wouldn't be particularly any good. I can play a few bits and pieces. Nothing. I wouldn't be a very good player. It's just something I mess around with from time to time. I haven't done much with them since I hurt my hand because it's all numb still. so I can't feel the strings. So I'm kind of contemplating maybe trying to get back into it again and play with a pick between my thumb and my middle finger. So we'll see how that goes. It may or may not work. Lots of people play bass with the pick, but I used to like playing with my fingers, so you're supposed to play it. So anyway, I'll get the chair in here so I can sit down and we'll run through the rest of it. Right, so I'll start off here. I guess I have the rack on the left. It's my DBX 286, my feedback destroyer, the Ultraflex Pro and the Virtualizer Pro. Nothing has changed in the rack system. I made a number of videos about all this stuff in the past, and underneath then I have this Akai. It's an AMU11, and we can just flip, no, wrong one, this one here, that turns that on, and that in turn feeds a pair of Spirit Absolute 2 studio monitors, and that's hooked up to the PC. So I don't actually use them that much, to be honest. I use headphones all the time. So then the mixer is out of line at the moment. What I used to use it, it's in there. I don't use it anymore for the radio end of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a second boom, and I'll put it somewhere, and I want to use that for doing voiceover stuff and whatnot on videos. So that will be here. So that turns the mixer on. You can see the lights on it there now. This one turns on the 9-volt supply to the DI box for the Shure SM7B. I have that going through a Behringer DI box to pad down the audio level into the radio, and it also acts as a galvanic isolator to stop any RF getting into the radio, because there's quite a lot of cabling between the microphone, all this lot, into the radio. So just in case any RF was to get in anywhere, I do have them. They're all XLR, and they all have 3 wraps through 31 mix ferrite rings at each end of each interconnect, and there's loads of that. I forgot to mention on the underside of that shelf there, power supplies on it. I have a mains filter that I made, a couple of, I think there's 5 stacked 31 mix ferrite cores there, and the cable that feeds all this lot is wrapped through that as many times as I could get it through it. And there's also the little mains filters you can get with the IEC connector. There's one each side, so it's filtered before it goes through the ferrite rings, and then it's filtered when it comes out the far side. That did make a bit of a difference. I'm lucky enough here in terms of noise for where I am. I'm in a small estate, 28 houses in it, so you know, my noise floor on 80 meters, for example, would be about S7, and it drops then S5 to 6 on 40. From 20 up, it's pretty low. On 20 on a good day, it's 0 on the S meter. So then I have a switch here that turns on the rack, turns on all that stuff there, and that just getting itself together there. The DBX has to go through its initiation sequence before anything else happens, and then I'm just using this as an EQ. This gives it a bit of bottom end rattle and a small bit of plate with this guy. I think it's only like 10% plate. So moving along then, this is my control panel here. As you see me, this gives me the ability to turn everything on and off without having to reach in under the desk. So the main supply, that's the 60 amp supply, this is the 12 volt supply, the mixer as you've seen, the rack, that's the 9 volt supply to the DI box, and then there's a couple of fans down there. There's one blowing into the power supply, blowing through the side of it where it's perforated for the power supply for the amplifier, and then the amplifier's over here and it has an exhaust fan on the back, and I have another fan right below that to blow the heat straight up. So yeah, that two-way switch I was showing you for the VHF, I want to change that to a three-way. So I have this scanner here, if I want to listen to aircraft and stuff like that I can. So I need to change that switch. This meter here, this is the power output. I'll show you now. Where are we? Where's my mouse gone? Oh, hold on. I do laugh at this with WSJTX. You have to go in and re-click the audio every now and again. I don't know why it does it. It just does it every now and again. So once I click OK, tune, there we go. So that's the output of the radio, 60 watts. And this meter here is this shows the output after the amplifier. So it's just basically so when you're running the amp you can see everything that's going on. This is my tuner, Dentron MT3000A. This thing is absolutely massive. That goes all the way back to the wall. It's 24 inches deep. It has absolutely massive capacitors in it. And I have this thing, Jesus, I must have it 15 years I guess. It has never arced, it has never flashed over. This thing is absolutely bulletproof. It'll tune anything. And I have a little cheat sheet then for that, for all the different bands, and it just kind of gets you in the ballpark so you can tune up with precision then once you get going. I don't like having the SWR mad high and trying to figure out where the sweet spot is. So that then, there's a Balun on the wall there. That's a Balun Designs dual core 4-to-1, rated at 5 kilowatts. So open wire goes up all the way up to the feed point of the antenna, which is a doublet. It's a 204 foot doublet, and the feed point is about 65 foot in the air. It's inverted V format, and it works really well. You know, I've been, the last couple of years I've been doing an awful lot of digital stuff, to be honest. Just kind of got fed up talking and said I'd have a go at this, and I used to slag this off one time, and I actually find it quite interesting now. So on the main monitor here, these three monitors, by the way, these are just Samsung TVs. They're 24 inch I think, or 22s, I can't remember, one or the other, but you have plenty of real estate for all the stuff you want to display. So on this monitor here we have WSJTX and JT Alert is running there on where are we? We're on 20 meters FT8. And on this monitor then, this one is running Grid Tracker 2. This is it's a new piece of software to me. I know it's not that new in terms of how long it's out, but it's actually quite good. So I uploaded my log into it last night, and you can see there all those red squares are confirmed grid squares. The yellow ones are ones I've worked. There are other ones if you zoom out. You can see there Jakarta, China, Japan. There's, you know, quite a few there. I was never a mad avid DXer. at all. I just kind of work what I work, and I just find this stuff interesting. I'm actually considering having a look at some of the other digital modes now, FT4 and the other FT8, where you can actually talk via the keyboard. I don't know what the name of it is. I know there is one. And just this monitor then, tend to use this for my browser. That's PSK Reporter I was in here for a while editing videos, and I was just running bit FT8 while I was waiting for the stuff to render, and that's kind of all the places I was heard. So the old doublet works. You can see there, I never get anything down in Africa, the very odd time, so it's obviously in the null of one of the lobes of the pattern of this thing. So, but look at it does pretty well all across Europe, the States, Australia, China, Japan. It'll do down into South America now later on as the grey line starts to move across. So the main transceiver here, as you all know, anybody that watches my radio videos, is the ICOM 7300. I have this since they came out, so I think I have it 7 years. Before that, I had a Yaesu FT920, which I thought was the best thing since the slice pan, until I bought this and plugged this in and realised that the 920 was deaf as a post compared to this. Great little radio. Yeah, a lot of people have a thing about how small it is, but once you hook it up to a PC, you don't even look at the radio half the time. I operate the radio with the mouse, and anything I want to see is here. I've all the remote softwares for it. I have the ICOM RS BA1, and I have the Win for ICOM suite as well, so it's quite good. Then the old amp there, this is almost as old as I am. 1978 this was made. I was made in 1975. Drake L7, pair of 3-500Zs in there. Great old workhorse, once you know how to tune it up. And I've had this many years, and I only ever had one breakdown with it, which was when one of the wire wounds resistors in the power supply let go. And in rather spectacular fashion, one morning I was on 40 meters gas bagging away, and the next thing the whole place plunged into darkness, and there was actually flames coming out of the top of the power supply where the resistor kind of went up. But luckily I have a lot of spares for this, and I have a lot of spares for this, so if anything ever goes wrong, I'm well covered. The only thing I don't have, and I will at some point in the future if I come across a set of spare 3-500s, I will buy them to have them just in case. But no, this is a solid old thing. It works forever. I have the Super Snake. I've that many years. LC6404 Lescom board in it, and it was a Taiwan 148 GTL, and we added all the front panel and the frequency counter. I think it's off some Galaxy or other, I can't remember. I did two of them at the time, a blue one and a green one. Yeah, so these little speakers here, these are just little Amazon Cube speakers. Done a video on these, and they work very well for, well, that's FT8 there obviously, but they work very well. They're wired in series and into the back of the radio then, and we just put those Bose badges on them for the crack. So there's the mic, Shure SM7B, and it works very well on my setup here. 3K wide, that's as wide as I kind of set myself the challenge of getting the audio to sound as good as it could on 3K, because that's where most people listen at that bandwidth. There's no point going 4, 5, 6, 7K when 90% of the people that are listening to it, the receivers are rolling it off after 3K. So it's kind of stupid unless, you know, somebody, the other station you're talking to, is listening that wide. But that was kind of the premise I went at it under. The whole audio thing took a long time to get all that nailed down. I always refer to it as the slippery slope. Once you start playing with this stuff, it's the slippery slope, and you very quickly learn about the law of diminishing returns. Like, you know, my first microphone was a BM800 off eBay at the time. I think it was 20 quid, and I suppose to get a 5 or maybe a 10% improvement, we had to spend €370 on a Shure SM7B. And then when I bought that, I had to buy a new preamp because the old Behringer Mic 2200, this thing needs 60 dB again to work right, and the old Behringer wasn't really able for it. So the best one to use with the SM7B is the DBX 286XS. But yeah, other than that, not much else in here. Little filing cabinet there with a few bits and pieces in it, and keep all my clothes in there for work and the gym and whatnot, and it's handy. Stuff hanging on the door there for work and whatnot. So yeah, people will be laughing at me with the labels, but you know, this is just how I am. I reckon I have ADHD or autism. I've never been confirmed to have it, but I reckon I do. It's a cool little thing. I got this off some guy on Facebook. I can't remember his name. I think his name's on the bottom. Yeah, built by G5ECO. These are 3D printed little plastic signs, and it just looks good there, I think. So that's my new shack that was built probably 2.5, 3 years ago. I can't remember how long. The young fella ended up going to the room we were in. We used to share. You would have seen it in the other videos down there. My wife had her office in one half, I had the shack in the other, and he has epilepsy, God love him, so we just wanted to get him away from the stairs. So his bedroom's down there now, so that put me up here, and her office is in his old bedroom. This was a huge job at the time. It took me you know, a few hours here and there every day. It took 10 days alone to wire it, get everything hooked up and all the rest of it. So, but I'm quite proud of it. It's a nice little place to spend a bit of time. And I must actually update my photographs on QRZ.com because they still show the old shack that was downstairs. And it was similar-ish to this, but it had like an overhead unit, and speakers were up there, and all the rack gear was up there. And at this time I said I'd just keep it all a little bit more compact and slimline. But yeah, did all the carpentry end of it myself, and quite pleased with it. So that is my shack, and hope you enjoy watching this, or it might give you some ideas. A lot of people say, oh, it's very clinical, it's too neat, blah blah blah, but this is just how my mind works. Like, I don't like when I'm sitting looking at all this, I don't want to be able to see any wires, which you can't. Yeah, underneath's a mess, but you can't see that. So, out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll get you again in the next one. All the best, and 73s.